Hi everyone. In the last video, we played with some cascading style sheets, some styles in two places. We added an attribute style to our HTML and then gave it, some properties. And then we also looked at the style tag that you can put in the head of your HTML document. And both of those are okay for quick tests and debugging, but we actually want to have a separate .css file where we do our styling. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. So the way you add a CSS file is by putting a link inside the head of your HTML document. And so the relation is the style sheet, the type is text/CSS, and the href is the actual link to the file. So every time you do a link tag, you need to have all three of these parts. And the nice thing is, if you're using Sublime Text, this is my example file that I've got, which we'll look at in a sec, but you can just add link tab, and it defaults to style sheet, text/CSS, and then href, and then we'll call that, let's call it app.css. Okay, so this is now going to load an app.css CSS file. So if I hit save on this, and then I go to Finder, and some HTML to style is what I've called the file. It actually doesn't do anything, because if you notice, I don't actually have a .css file on my desktop, which is where this is pulling from. But this is what we're going to style. So I've got some headers, I've got some ordered lists, some unordered lists, a table down here. So let's go through and style some of this. So we're going to need to make an app.css. So Command N to make a new, and we will change the type from plain text up to CSS. And then we will save to our desktop, and I think I said it's app.css. And let's just check. Let's just change star, which is everything. Let's change star to background red. Okay, and if we refresh, boom, sure enough, we've got a red background. So let's go through and actually add some interesting styles inside our app.css. So what I wanted to talk about is how we can change color. And there are lots of different ways you can change color in CSS. Now, the first one we've done so far, which is, color red, color lawn green sounds good. Let's change this to lawn green. Lawn green. Much better. Oh, beautiful. But who memorizes lawn green, slate gray, cornflower blue, and all these other colors? And in particular, what if you don't want lawn green? Lawn green's pretty harsh. It looks like a pretty terrible website right now. Maybe you actually want a different color than that. And there are ways you can do that as well. So one way is using something called a hexadecimal color value. And the way that hexadecimal works is it's basically like base 10, like 10, 20, 30, whatever. So this is 82, this last two digits here. This is 00 in the middle, and this is 40B. And that's what makes hexadecimal a little bit different than decimal. You have your digits 0 through 9, and then also A, B, C, D, E, F. And how that really works doesn't really matter, because you can use a color picker. So if we Google color picker, sure enough, Google actually has a built-in color picker. So you can pick any color you like. So I can slide around here. I can change the hue. Maybe I want sort of a peachy color. Maybe I want that's a nice color like that. And boom, I can copy and paste the hex value there. And I can then put that right into my CSS. So instead of having lawn green, I can have hash. So you always need an octothorpe, is the name of that character, or a hash, and then your color after it. And if I reset that and refresh, we get that beautiful peachy orange color. So that's one way to pick colors. Hexadecimals. Hexadecimal is really nice because it's really compact. So it's only 7 characters long, and you'll get a sense of these if you become a designer. You'll actually learn what these different colors are. This first bit is red, this middle bit is green, and the last bit is blue. And I don't know if you guys know this, but your computer screen only uses red lights, green lights, and blue lights, and you can mix them together to get almost every color visible to the human eye. The other way to do it is to actually specify your red, green, and blue values. So if I look at this red, green, and blue, this is apparently 255, 156, and 56. So if I copy that, I can use that as an RGB bracket, close bracket, and then red, comma, green, comma, blue, comma value. So if I hit save on this, it should look the exact same because it's the same color. So let's pick a different color to show you. How about that color there? So if I want that color there, I can copy that RGB value and paste that RGB value in here for my RGB numbers. Hit save, and now we have that purple color as our background. So there's actually one more way to choose color, which is adding something called an alpha, which is why on the original slide I said there's 3.5 ways to change color in CSS. So there's special names, there's hexadecimal hash values, there's RGB values, and there's also something called an rgba value. And A stands for alpha, and alpha is a measure of how solid your color is, or how transparent your color is. So let's change this to, let's make our, actually sure, I guess that's fine. So we got this purple background. Let's say I want to change the H1s to have a different color. So let's say I want them to be background RGB, and I'm going to do 0, 0, 0. So what color is 0, 0, 0? If you have no red, no green, and no blue, what color is that going to be? Sure enough, it's going to be black. Okay, so we can't see that at all. But alpha is a measure of transparency. So if I add some transparency to this, this is a decimal value between 0, which is completely clear, up to 1, which is completely solid. Then it says how opaque it should be. So if I set that to 0.2, then that should be almost completely transparent. It should be mostly transparent. And if I refresh, you can now see that this is 20% black. But because it's 20% black with purple behind it, you're actually seeing the purple through the black. If I comment out this, so we can't see it anymore, you can now see that it's 20% gray, because 20% gray with white behind it makes this gray. And so alpha is really cool if you want to like highlight something or style something, but you still want the background to come through, then you're going to want alpha. And so that is the, basically you only use this rgba if you actually want to change the alpha. Otherwise, most people seem to use hexadecimal values. So that's how you can change color in your cascading style sheets, and that is how you can, this link tag is how you can add a CSS file to your HTML document. So we're going to do a couple more videos going into some more CSS, and then you can make your first proper cascading style sheet.